Right, it is Wednesday. The apartment is a total mess because I decided to try and repackage all my stuff to make it a bit easier to access. I realised that all my tools were in like one side of these panniers. Let me just show you down here. Um, yeah, there's basically I have all the weight was in this one, which it kind of still is, and then so it was like sliding off midway along. There's my copious supply of flapjacks, which Susie packed for me before I left. So trying to reorganise the stuff. We're waiting out bad weather. So I don't know if you can see that outside, but it's kind of wet everywhere. It was raining this morning, but I think I've got a little gap in the weather. We've got an 85-kilometre ride. No, it's 85 kilometres? Yeah, 85 kilometres today. So it's actually less of a ride, which I'm a bit glad about, really, because the BSA isn't sort of a 500 mile a day bike, which I've come to appreciate. Is more, I think 200 miles on the BSA is a lot. And so to do 85 kilometres, it's going to take about 2 hours. And then we'll be actually in the Picos, which will be really good. I'm a bit... Oh, hang on a minute. There's actually sun outside. Well, look at that. See there's a shadow on that building out there? Yeah, so actually could be in a bit of luck. I was going to say I was a bit bummed out because this was my day to do the Picos, and I wanted to go up on this track, on the Tet section. But imagine doing that in the rain and, slipping and sliding everywhere. I'm not really a confident off-road rider, if I'm honest. And I thought doing it in the dry would be one thing, but doing it in the wet when all the rocks and stuff are slippery, it might make it a little bit too much. Oh, by the way, I didn't notice this yesterday. Bit of a sign, isn't it? Harley Davidson motorcycles. Oh, I should also mention the plan for today. So what I'm going to do is just get this video on here, and I'll just show you where we're going. So we are about here. There's a little town called Sotres, and then we're going to go a little bit north, and then basically along this road here, which is called the CA282. Then we're going to go down towards Potes, and then we're going to go really to the heart of the Picos. Right, let's leave Camino Real. Nice little place, to be fair. I just tried to get the DJI to follow me, and it did it in portrait mode, but I couldn't replicate it when I tried to go landscape, so I have to ask the extra rider how that works, because it's flummoxed me. Right, the helmet's done up. Let's see if we can find a way out, shall we? Must be up here. Lovely place, but I think they stung me a little bit on the pricing. Oh, gotta be careful on these flat stones. Kind of place you could just easily slip off. Yeah, I think I lost out on the pricing. When I came in, there was no one here, so I rang them, and the lady said 80 euros, and I was knackered, so I thought, I'll have to just go for it. Yeah, there you go, Camino Real Hotel Restaurant in Sotres. So it was nice, but so I thought 80 euros is fine, including breakfast. Breakfast is alright, like nothing special. And then when I get to pay the bills, the guy, again, really nice guy, Colombian guy, says 110 euros. No, he said 112. And I was like, how'd you work that out? Here you go, Sotres. That's the town. I said, how'd you work that out? I said, oh, the dinner was 32 euros.
And I went, oh, it was a couple of eggs and a salad. And he said, yeah, I know, the salad was 16 and the eggs were 14. No, salad was 18 and the eggs were 14. Eggs, 2 eggs, 14 euros. Whatever, so I can't sort of get used to that level of accommodation. So yeah, so he said, oh, I'll do you a deal, I'll give it to you for 30. So I saved 2 euros, I suppose, but still annoying. So tonight for accommodation we're going to a Parador. Now interestingly, in about 1910 Spain wanted to boost tourism, so the government set up a government-run chain of hotels called the Paradors. Now the Paradors have always been located in the city centres or near cathedrals or churches or castles. They are actually quite prestigious, but they've been able to retain some of the fairly low pricing. Here you go. We're going left here. So yeah, they have retained some quite fair pricing, which is really cool. Where was it? So this next one, I think I signed up to get the discount. If you register, you get 5% discount. So it ended up being 73 euros, but it is staying right in the heart of the Picos, which I suppose is a little bit more acceptable. I would recommend, if you come to Spain, looking at parador.es or paradors.es. If you search for it, it'll come up. I just think that, like, they're a little hidden gem, because you'll always get a really nice quality, and it's kind of government run, so the standard obviously can't slip too low. You know, no one's going to have like it represents Spain, doesn't it? So, oh, I had a chat to Two-Wheeled Willie and Extra Rider this morning, and a bike. Oh, come on, mate, that's fucking dangerous, isn't it? A bike that's on my radar, I was saying to Willie, is weirdly, I've started looking at the Honda Hornet. Again, I'm not replacing the BSA, so don't everyone get excited. I'm keeping the BSA for the duration, but maybe in a year or two. It's not classically styled, which might annoy me. Like, I know what I'm like. I'm like, oh yeah. I could have a new bike, and then when it comes to it, like, I'm always searching for the perfect bike. Well, aren't we all? I'm always searching for the perfect bike. I don't really want an adventure bike. I just don't want to be an adventure bike rider at the moment. You know, they're big, they're heavy, like, it encourages you to take more stuff. Everybody does it, so I don't really want to be like one of the masses. I kind of like being a little bit like left field, so to speak. I don't mind branching to a naked bike, which is modern. I would probably rather that than an adventure bike. The Hornet is also quite light. I think it's 175, 180, something like that, which I like. It's lighter than the BSA. It's got loads of power, and it also fulfills my requirement for being quite simple. Parallel twin, way less character than this, but parallel twin, easy to access because there's no lower fairing, 6-speed. It doesn't have cruise control, which is a bit annoying, but not the end of the world. I haven't got cruise control on this trip, obviously. You can have official luggage. I'd obviously buy one nearly new and have the luggage and everything included. And now, what's the price? New is 7,300. Buy them for like 6, nearly new. Try and get one in yellow with some of the nice luggage. I just thought that would be quite a nice little bike to have. It would probably replace the BSA, to be honest, because I'm trying to become a one bike guy. I'm not one of these people who's got a garage full of like 6 bikes, one of every type, and nothing against that, but I'm too tight. You've got to pay tax and insurance and MOT and servicing, yearly servicing on every bike, and it's just it's just a hoarder's way of doing things. It's not, you want to live a minimalist life really, and a motorbike is a minimalist thing, but you don't make it maximalist by duplicating it 6 times. The other bike that's kind of on my radar is the Kawasaki. Bear in mind, I always say this wrong. I always say Kawasaki with a Z, which is weird, but that's just a habit I got into when I started riding. My first bike was a Kawasaki, and then I called it for some reason a Kawasaki. I think because there's so many Zs in the model lineup, like ZX this, Z this, Z that, I just called it Kawasaki. And I'm a little bit bloody, what do you call it when you can't spell and say things properly? I don't know what it is, but like a little bit odd, a little bit neurodiverse. So I've learned it that way, and now I continuously say it that way. So the other bike which I'm kind of interested in is a Kawasaki Z650 RS, not the 900, which is probably an overall better bike, but too powerful for me. I was thinking that little 650 engine, I've got a fond memory of having that engine in my Ninja 650. I just love riding the bikes with that parallel trim. That extends to CF Moto as well, by the way, because CF Moto and Moto Morini both heavily utilize that power plant, and it's pretty magic really. It's decent. They've actually brought it out to 700 cc's or 694 or something like that, 693 cc. So the CF Moto version of that engine is more powerful, but nevertheless it's still a great engine. The only downside to that engine is they've actually detuned it over the years. If you got a 2013, 2014, 2015 bike, they're running about 72 horsepower. You go and buy one today and I think it's mid to high 60s. Because of Euro 5, they've actually had to curtail the performance of that engine, so you might be better off buying an old one rather than a new one if you actually want the engine to be unlocked, sort of thing. Write in your suggestions, like a parallel twin, 70 horsepower, maybe like 90 at the most. But again, it's all pure speculation. I'm not promising anything. I kind of like being a one bike guy, and I don't like changing bikes because I've done it 3 times in quick succession. It's cost me a fortune, as has been much talked about on the internet of late. Actually, I should mention that as well. The Gold Star has been kind of been a bit hammered of late. People have put out videos lamenting how much money they've lost on the Gold Star 650. And yeah, okay, BSA has lowered the price, so if you're an existing owner of said assets, if it's available new for now £5,000 and you bought it for just over 7 or 6.8, I think was the green one, your asset is now worth a lot less second hand, and people are really pissed off about it. It's just one of those things, to be honest. Like, I get it, my bike's it's probably worth a swap with a new Zonta's 125 and half a Mars bar. It's literally not worth hardly anything in today's market. If you look up, you can see all manner of stuff caught in this netting. This is like a proper road that they've cut into the rocks. Yeah, look up there. Whew. Ooh, gives me the shivers a little bit going underneath it. I mean, obviously the bit with the netting you're right, but what where there's no netting? That's just sheer rock face. Ah! And it's been raining, which is like the worst time for like landslides and stuff.
Hello. I just stopped for a tea and a flapjack, and look at this guy.
Right, well, we're now on the N621. I believe we're in the Picos. I mean, I might be wrong, I might be right, but it's just a bit annoying, really. There's loads of traffic, and you've got like caravans and stuff in the way. Whereas in the Cantabrian mountains, there was nobody up there. So is this a sign of things to come with the Picos? And is that something that you should be thinking about if you want to visit Spain? Do you want to do the stuff that everybody knows about? Oh yeah, here you go. Centre of a visitor centre for the Picos to Europa. Of course, if I didn't mention this before, Picos is peaks of Europe, which is kind of untrue because the Picos isn't the highest mountain range in Europe, far from it. Pyrenees, Alps I think are the highest. Right, well this looks to be Oviedo, and it's actually not that nice, to be truthful. There's scores of hotels and restaurants up there with motorcycles lining it up. And here we're going to come into Sotres, which is the must-do big deal of the Picos. Get your Picos t-shirt here. Well, that's nice. Maybe this is the old part of town. Yeah. Oh, and there be the tourist buses. "23 kilometers, and Espinama, that's where the Tet trail starts. So we're actually getting close, and I got blue sky. Could be in business. We could be in business. Ho! We're almost there. We're almost there. And we got nice mountains ahead of us, so all is not lost. Right, here we go. It's the start of the trail. We could hopefully, I don't know if I'm going to go the whole way today because it's the evening, but I just want to see what it's going to be like. And then hopefully one of these restaurants is open on the way back. Wherever I go up, I've got to come back down again. So that's something to consider as well. You don't want to be in a situation where you can't sort of stop. You know, like skiing, when there's a certain steepness of slope that you won't be able to stop. I'm not going to stand up obviously because my bike's not made for that, even though you do get more control if you stand up. Right, back onto the concrete section. I see I've defaulted to riding on the left. I really want to take my time though. This is not something to rush, so if I have to turn back today, I have to turn back and have another go at it tomorrow when I got more time. But here you go. We're actually having an adventure. It's taking 2 days of road riding, isn't it? But we're actually having an adventure. This is it. This is what we did all this stuff to the BSA for. Oh my god. Right, go on, don't be an idiot. Shake the bike to bits. These bikes are famously unreliable, so no, they're not really. If you believe the internet, they are. I'm going to ride near the edge here just because it seems to be the smoothest area, and obviously I don't have long travel suspension. So what's the point in shaking the bike apart just to go a little bit faster? Kind of isn't really any point of it. Will I make it to Sotres this evening? Probably not. Manage everyone's expectations. Because I don't know how far it looks on the map, you see, because it's not as the crow flies. It's twisty turny, so it could be 20 kilometers or so. Look, I've only done 2 miles, so and I've got to get back. It's a long way, if you know what I mean. Here you go, though. This is proper, like in the mountains now, isn't it? Oh. I'm going. I'm being chased by big dogs. That was scary. He actually bit my trousers then a second. I've got to come back this way as well. Whew. You won't have seen him on the video, but I've got to come back that way, so I'm going to get to the church and then turn around. So, I don't know what I'm going to do about this dog. Part of the reason I'm coming back is I don't know if there's more dogs or if it's a bad time of day to be up here. I'll probably wait till there's other vehicles that are coming up the way. Hola. Well, this is really nice, to be fair. I've got to say I'm a little bit apprehensive because I've got to go back down past the big dog, and like I've got to keep riding because if I fall off or anything, he's a big old boy and he's got two small dogs with him. I think he's guarding the flock, so he'll probably just appear out of nowhere. There he is, he's sat down at the top. I think that's him up there. There's the dog. Oh, there's a dog. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're guarding the flock. From wolves and stuff, no doubt. And there's loads of them. They just sit there in the hills, so oh, here he is. See, he's ready. He's waiting. I'm gonna kick you. Oh, there's more of them. See down here? This is the little pack. Alright, do you wanna do this? So that's where they wait after the fountain. Didn't get me like the first time though, because I was ready for him. Oh right, now we've got the bloody descent. This is what I was saying. Easy to come up, but harder to come down.
I'm back at the start of the trail at the Espinama side. I obviously can't go any further because I don't know how many dogs there are. Like on the first pass, the little critter got hold of my suit. I don't know if you can see that. Oh god. I thought he might have my leg, but luckily because the suit's quite baggy, he didn't actually get onto me. He sort of grabbed the suit instead. I mean, it was quite dodgy coming back, getting past them all, and there's loads of them, and we might have to call it. Unfortunately, I did want to go up there, but I think the bike could do it. I could probably do it. It's just those dogs are a new thing in the equation, and the Spanish sheepdog, whatever it's called, Spanish mountain dog, is actually really big. I mean, you wouldn't have seen it on the lens because we're shooting ultra wide for motorbike vlogging. But they are probably about as big as not quite Saint Bernard, but they're a sizable dog used to fend off wolves and stuff like that for the flock of sheep. And I spotted about 6 or 7 of them. One of them took a dislike to the BSA engine, probably. So we're gonna have to call it for today. It's a no-go. Tomorrow will be a new day. I'll probably look at the weather tomorrow, and I'll also hope that the dogs are put out at night, basically, because if you look at the time, I was up there for 40 minutes. It's now 5:30, so it's early evening. So you could think the dogs are put out at night because anything that's going to harm the sheep probably comes out at night as well. So if we go back up there in the day, perhaps we'll have a better shot. But just after the fountain, where the flock is at the moment, that's where all the dogs are.